you guys to ask questions either through like an anonymous link or on a video on TikTok, and I kind of saved I think all of them, and I'll just try to get through as many as physically possible. And if you all like this video, then maybe in the future we could do another one. I asked people to ask questions that either like weren't super common or like more juicy. Like I didn't want like what's your favorite food or what's your favorite color. So let's start. So a very popular question I'll start with that a lot of people asked was, do we want more kids? And the answer to that is yes, I think so. I feel pretty content actually with the two I have right now, but I also don't feel like I'm done. Before I had kids, I always said I wanted like 4 or 5. Now going through pregnancy and birth, I was more like 3, 4, and then after Annie, I was more like I think 1 more and I'll be done. So probably 1 more. And then off the back of that, someone asked, if you have another baby in the future, what gender would you like since you already have 1 of each, and would you go without an epidural? So because I've had 1 of each, I wouldn't really care, but if I could choose, I hate saying this in case I don't have this gender, I would choose a girl. Just because I'm a girl and I had sisters and I would love Annie to have a sister, but I really wouldn't care and I would be so happy either way. But if I could choose, I would choose a girl. And would I go without an epidural? If you heard my birth story on TikTok, you'll know that I had an epidural with Smith and I didn't have one with Annie, and Annie's birth was horrific for a few other reasons besides not having an epidural. But now in hindsight, like looking back, I actually think I would go without an epidural again, which if you saw my birth story, you would never think that I would have said that. But yeah, I think I would go without one, but then that would literally be me done, like no more kids. The next question is, how long do you see yourself staying in Ireland? Now, I wish I had an answer for this, but I really don't know. Like, we could be here forever, we could be here 20 years, I don't know. I do think we'll be here at least for the next 6, 7 years, but after that I genuinely don't know where we're going to be. It's just wherever feels right for us at the time, and right now Ireland feels like the place that we should be. So yeah. So of course I do anonymous questions. A lot of people want to know about all things being Mormon. So someone asked, did you have a temple marriage, and if so, did you have to travel to a different country to have it, or was it when you were in the United States? Yes, we did get married in the temple. We got married civilly here in Northern Ireland first, and then the next day we flew over to England and got married in the Preston Temple. We'll stick with the church theme ones for a minute. So are there any rules in Mormonism that you don't agree with / follow? Now this is juicy. I'm not going to go into too much depth on this because the whole internet doesn't need to know everything, but yes, there are some rules I don't agree with / don't follow. Maybe one I don't agree with, a simple one, would be no drinking tea or coffee. I don't drink tea or coffee because I personally think the tea is disgusting, but it's not necessarily one that I kind of agree with, just because we're allowed to drink energy drinks, and that feels really wrong to me, that you could drink an energy drink but not drink tea and coffee. That's just a very simple one that I don't necessarily agree with, but because I don't like tea or coffee, it doesn't like affect me on a day-to-day basis. But have you ever thought about leaving the church? I feel like yes and no. I feel like when we lived in Utah, we really didn't go to church very often. And that was more of just like a culture and clique thing. I felt like church became a very much a cliquey thing and not really about going and like coming closer to Christ and being like more Christ-like. It just felt like I was going and I felt awkward the whole time and uncomfortable, and I felt like I had no friends. So like the church itself necessarily wasn't the issue, but it was more where we were living. So in that sense, I don't know if I ever felt about totally leaving completely, but we were inactive for a period of time, I would say. Sorry, Mum. Let's see, what's next? So, how many boyfriends did I have before Trent? I don't know, what do we class as boyfriends? Because, like, do we class high school boyfriends as boyfriends? I would say I had 1 serious boyfriend before Trent in high school, from when I was probably 15 to when I was 18. People are really interested in my sex life, which just, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to divulge that on the internet, you know. My kids might see this, my parents might see this, you know. People are wanting to know, did I wait till married, how often am I intimate with 2 kids? Let's just say life's different after you have kids. So what is the most difficult part about marriage? The first thing that came to my mind when I read this, which might be more unique to us, but it kind of relates to everybody, is like joining two different cultures, joining two people who were raised completely differently, and then like trying to come together as one isn't always the easiest. I feel like you'll struggle with different things throughout marriage, and that is just kind of what is coming to my mind right this minute. Back to babies. What other names did you have for Annie or Smith? Or what other baby names do you like in general? For Smith, no baby girl names ever felt right. Now, if he was a girl, he probably would have been called Annie. But like when I was pregnant with him, Annie just never... I didn't like it when I was pregnant with him at all. And I knew if he was a boy, he was always going to be Smith. A middle name was maybe up for debate, but Smith was definitely his name. And then with Annie, kind of similar with Smith, I didn't have any baby boy names that I really felt like I connected with. I just feel like I have to feel connected to the name in some way, which is, I guess, kind of why I've chosen more meaningful names. So I never had any boy names I liked for her, but her other potential name that we went into the hospital with was Poppy. So she was either going to be Annie or Poppy, but when she was born, before she was born, I was really convinced we were going to go with Poppy and not Annie. But when she was born, like, we just looked at each other and we both agreed that Annie just felt to us at that point the right name, and now I physically cannot imagine her as a Poppy, even though I do love the name Poppy. So let's answer a few more like rapid fire questions and then we will be done. Who's my celebrity crush? I feel like I have a ton, but the one I always come back to is Channing Tatum. So freaking hot. Do we have any holiday plans coming up? I think we will be going back to America in like May, June. We'll go to Denver and see Trent's parents and he'll do a bit of work, and then we'll probably go to Utah to see friends and family, and maybe down to Texas to see friends and family. And I would love to go to California, but we will see if that happens. So that's our only vacation plans as of right now. Who was the last person I texted? I just checked and it was Trent telling him to be quiet downstairs so I could record this. Do you have any tattoos? Well, actually, I've been kind of keeping a secret from you for a while. Yeah, no, I don't have any tattoos. That was really stupid. No, I don't have any tattoos. I guess Mormons are technically not supposed to get tattoos, but I also don't feel a desire to have a tattoo anyway. Oh, this is a good one, I think, maybe to end with. But what made you decide to start doing social media? So when I was in college, I did start like a blog temporarily, and I thought that would be really fun, but I feel like I was trying to like imitate other people, so I was doing like a makeup blog. Now, I don't look like the type of person who would do a makeup blog. And so then that just kind of fell through, and it was always something I like aspired to do. Like, I thought it'd be so fun to do YouTube, but I truly just felt embarrassed. And still sometimes now I'm not like the most confident. Like, I don't necessarily post on Instagram for people that I know to know that I'm doing YouTube. But basically what happened was I got an iPad for Christmas and I started doing, they're called like faceless portraits, I guess. And I saw someone do this series on TikTok where they did like, it was like 50 states of America, because we were living in America at the time, and they drew, was it TV shows in each state and like kind of revealed them. And I saw them do it and I was like, you know, I think I could actually do that better. Not that my drawings would be better, but I thought like I could make the series better. And so I decided to start doing that on TikTok on a different account, and it kind of just like blew up. Like, I think I got like 130,000 followers in the space of a few months. And so I kind of dabbled into the social media that way. Now, that was supposed to just be like a fun creative outlet. I didn't expect to actually gain so many followers. And then when I did that for about 6 or 7 months. I started to, people started to ask more questions on there, like, who are you? Because it was just my hand, they never saw my face. So people wanted to know who was I, where was I from? They wanted to know things about me. And so then I kind of started like a more personal page on TikTok. Sorry, this is kind of a long story. And then once I started the personal TikTok page, I felt like more connected to it. It resonated more with me. I enjoyed it more. And so then that's kind of how that all fell into my lap. And because I had that first set of followers, maybe a few thousand of them came on to my now TikTok page, it kind of helped boost my page, because I feel like those first few thousand are really hard to get. And then from there, now a year later, I decided to do YouTube. So social media kind of in a way fell into my lap, but it was also something that I've always wanted to do. I just always felt this desire to do YouTube, but I was just always too scared. So there was honestly quite a few other questions that I didn't get through. Coming to you from the future, it is editing Jessica here, but honestly there were so many questions that I got after I filmed this on Saturday, like really good questions, like ones that I probably never answered. So I would definitely be down for doing a part 2 and doing one like semi soon. So let me know if that is something you're interested in. Let's get back to the video. So if you enjoy this type of video, I could maybe do another one answering the rest of the questions. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.